Manhattan Mayor Win Butler was arrested Wednesday night on suspicion of DUI after crashing his vehicle into a storefront. That incident happened around 8 o'clock at the Candlewood Liquor Store in the Candlewood Shopping Center. Butler confirmed overnight to K-Man that his brakes failed, but also admitted to having had 4 beers earlier in the evening. Interim City Manager Jason Hilgers provided a statement on the incident this morning to News Radio KMAN.
We received an email last night from the mayor resigning from his position on the city commission. Obviously, he had an incident last night that he feels like has compromised his position, so he's going to step down and make that effective today.
No injuries have been reported. Butler has been a member of the Manhattan City Commission since 2011. His current term expires in January 2026. It's expected that Mayor Pro Tem Susan Adamczyk will be elevated to mayor. It's unclear if the City Commission will try to fill the vacancy or possibly call a special election. We'll hear more on that in the coming days. Additional details from Wednesday's incident are pending from the Riley County Police Department. With the recovery effort now a week old following the April 30th deadly tornado in Westmoreland, response from surrounding communities has continued to be coming in overwhelmingly according to local officials. Pottawatomie County Public Information Officer Becky Ryan says that the county is pretty well set on items available for those in need, with the community center remaining open.
There is it's a community center. It will be open in the evenings from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock for people to come in and pick up stuff. It's also going to be open on the weekends from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. so people can come pick up stuff that they need.
As that recovery effort continues, USD 323 Rock Creek schools have been lending a hand as well. Superintendent Joan Simoneau.
If we can provide them with some money to help, with just kind of the normalcy of being able for a dad and a mom to take their kid to go buy a baseball glove or to buy a pool pass, but those kinds of things that we can kind of help give some normalcy back to some of those families.
Donations are being accepted through the Westmoreland Relief Fund. Simoneau also says the school district is providing mental health counseling to anyone in the district who was affected by last week's storms. The city of Manhattan is being asked to pay $260,000 in cash incentives by Frontier Development Group for the 10 remaining lots to be developed in Lee Mill Village. Manhattan purchased 35 lots back in 2017, and those lots have sat vacant since the developer flaked on the city and left infrastructure in place with no plan. Commissioner Susan Adamczyk lives nearby and says the area has good potential.
I would endorse providing some help with this project. The earlier units are basically my backyard, and those were being sold as quickly as they were being finished. I think these are going to be very desirable properties, and I think they'll be added to the tax rolls pretty quickly as they're completed.
The project is estimated to generate over twice the amount in city ad valorem taxes in the next 20 years than the amount being requested in cash incentives. Commissioner John Mata says he supports moving forward on the property, but wanted to know more about the funding.
Yeah, I was out of the site as well, and I had just the same concern as where we're getting the money from. So if you just want to know if we want to proceed, I'm yes, but obviously need to know where we're going to get the money to make it happen.
Exact funding strategies and dates will be discussed at future meetings. Manhattan's Rue 21 clothing store is shuttering its doors. The local store inside Manhattan Town Center is having a liquidation sale following the company's recent Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing. A closing date hasn't been announced. According to Reuters, the teen fashion retailer is planning to close all of its 543 U.S. stores within the next 2 months. Rue 21 also plans to sell its intellectual property. The Pennsylvania-based company has not issued any statement or commented publicly on the bankruptcy. Woodrow Wilson Elementary is celebrating a century of educating Manhattan students. The Manhattan Mercury reports that the school will be hosting an open house tonight, commemorating 100 years of teaching and learning. That open house will include a public viewing of the school's new gym and storm shelter, and will also include food trucks, old photos of the school through the years, and a chance for former students to celebrate in some of the nostalgia. That event runs tonight from 5:30 to 7:30. And we've also learned that the children's train at Wamego City Park will be closed until further notice. An axle on the train is broken, and repairs are currently underway, according to Wamego City officials. The summer season for rides was about to begin, but the Wamego team is working diligently to get the train back up and running as soon as possible.
Good morning, I'm Mitch Fortner with sports. 2 former K-State men's basketball players have found their new homes. Staying in the Big 12 will be guard R.J. Jones as he is committed to TCU. He averaged 2.5 points per game as a freshman for K-State. And center Jarrell Colbert will be heading to SMU. After playing in 31 games, he averaged 2.5 points a game. What a run for K-State women's golf for Carla Bernat. As for just the second time in program history, K-State will be represented at the NCAA Championship, and for the first time since 2003, as Bernat put together a second straight score of 3 under 69 to finish in third place at the NCAA Regional. The National Wrestling Coaches Association has named Manhattan High head coach Sean Bomas the Kansas High School Coach of the Year. Plus, Bomas assistant coaches Danny Grader, Dayton Christ, Ethan Sharp, and Chad Wolf were named the Kansas Assistants of the Year. Back in February, Manhattan Wrestling won the 6A state title for the 5th time in program history. Bobby Wood Jr. hit a home run and scored 3 times to lead the Kansas City Royals over the Milwaukee Brewers in the rubber match, 6-4 on Wednesday. The Royals improved their record to 22-16. They'll begin a 4-game series in Anaheim against the Angels tonight, with first pitch at 8:38. And with the latest off-the-field issues with second-year wide receiver Rashee Rice, the Chiefs are in the market for some wide receiver help. Despite signing Hollywood Brown to a 1-year deal in March and drafting first-round pick Xavier Worthy in April out of Texas, ESPN's Adam Schefter has reported Wednesday night that former Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones is expected to meet with the Kansas City Chiefs today. Last season in 9 games, caught 34 passes for 321 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm Mitch Fortner with sports.